Being hunted by a lion is likely one of the scariest things any animal can experience. The only thing worse is being hunted by a group of them. Out of all the cats in the world, only one species ever turned the solo assassin's game into a team sport. Most big cats stalk and kill alone. Tigers, leopards, cheetahs, even the jaguar, with jaws powerful enough to pierce turtle shells, go it alone. But lions are different. They're not just predators, they're conspirators. They plan, they cooperate, and when the time comes, they kill together. And yet, this social arrangement seems to defy everything we know about the feline evolution. Why would an apex predator, perfectly capable of hunting alone, choose to share the spoils? Why do male lions sport a blazing mane that makes them hotter and hungrier? Why does this one cat roar loud enough to shake the air 5 miles in every direction? Why do they live in coalitions, hunt in formations, and teach each other? And perhaps most strangely, why are they the only cat species on Earth smart enough to count? To understand the lion is to journey into a strange paradox of feline evolution, where ferocity meets fraternity, and where cooperation becomes the ultimate weapon. Origins from the savannah. The story of the lion begins over 2 million years ago on the African plains. But to understand where the lions came from, we need to rewind the evolutionary clock even further, to around 10 billion years ago. That's when the genus Panthera began to branch off from the other fields. This lineage would give rise to the roaring cats, the tiger, jaguar, leopard, snow leopard, and eventually the lion. All of them are defined not by size, but by a partially ossified hyoid bone that allows them to produce a low-frequency roar, a sound weapon that resonates through the bones of prey and predator alike. But lions split off from their closest relatives around 2 million years ago, likely somewhere near southeastern Africa. Unlike the solitary cats that diverged before them, lions began to evolve into something never before seen among their kind: sociality. Fossil records tell us that the ancestral lion, Panthera leofacilis, once ranged from the southern tip of Africa to the northern hills of Europe, and even across to the Americas as Panthera atorox, the American lion. The largest of these ancient lions stood nearly 4 feet tall at the shoulder and stretched over 10 feet from nose to tail. They were truly kings of the Ice Age plains, massive, powerful, and feared. But it wasn't until their African descendants found a landscape of vast savannas, clustered watering holes, and resource-dense territories that lions transformed from loners into pride-bound tacticians. This was evolution's experiment: what happens when a solitary killer becomes a group strategist. A body built for power and speed. The anatomy of the lion is built like a machine forged in battle. Adult males can weigh up to 190 kilograms, about 420 pounds, and stand over 1.2 meters at the shoulder. Females are slightly smaller, but no less lethal. But what sets them apart isn't just the raw size, it's the specialization. Lions possess a bite force up to 1,000 psi, capable of crushing a trachea of a buffalo or the vertebrae of a zebra. The retractable claws are 3 inches long, capable of slicing open prey in a single slash. Their tongues are lined with papillae, backward-facing barbs that can strip flesh from the bone like a rasp. But it's under the skin that the most terrifying adaptation resides. Lions are loaded with type 2 XR muscle fibers, the fastest twitching muscles in the animal kingdom. These fibers generate explosive bursts of energy, allowing a lion to sprint 80 kilometers per hour or 50 miles per hour and leap distances of 11 meters or 36 feet in a single bound. That's further than any human long jump in history. For comparison, cheetahs are faster over short distances but have far fewer type 2X fibers. Tigers are stronger but less efficient over open terrain. And humans, despite our endurance running abilities, are not even in the same athletic universe. So why aren't lions the undisputed hunting champions of the savannah? The answers lie in the physics. Speed costs energy, and a 400-pound animal accelerating that fast burns through fuel like a rocket launch. That's why most lion hunts fail. A solo lion only has about a 17% chance of catching its prey. But when working together, that number jumps to over 30%. And that's where lion genius begins. The social paradox. Lions are the only truly social cats. They live in prides consisting up to 30 individuals, mostly related females, their cubs, and a small coalition of dominant males. No other cat does this. Leopards are loners. Cheetahs form temporary sibling groups. Even tigers, with their complex territories, live and hunt alone. So what makes lions different? Early theories suggested it was about hunting. Big prey like buffalo, wildebeest, or even young elephants were simply too much for one lion to handle. But this idea started to fall apart when researchers observed prides ignoring large prey, or even hunting small animals individually. Something else was driving their cooperation. In a now famous study in the Serengeti, researchers tracked over 500 lion hunts. They discovered something remarkable. Lionesses weren't just teaming up, they were assuming roles. Some always approached from the left flank, others always circled to the right. A few consistently held back in the center, ambushing prey that fled the other attackers. These positions were stable over years, even across changing prey species. This wasn't accidental, it was a coordinated strategy. And when these role-consistent lions worked together, their success rate skyrocketed. The lions that took their preferred positions succeeded more often, suggesting that pride members learned and remembered what tactics worked best for them. This is an instinct. This is teamwork. And more importantly, it's memory. The roar that shakes the earth. The lion's roar is one of nature's most iconic sounds. It's 114 decibels. It's louder than a rock concert, a chainsaw, or even a low-flying jet. It can be heard over 8 kilometers away. But the roar isn't just intimidation. It's for accounting. Lions use roars to gauge the number and proximity of other lions in their territory. In playback experiments conducted by Dr. Craig Packer and his team, prides only approached roaring intruders when they had the numerical advantage. In other words, lions can count. They evaluate whether they outnumber their opponents and decide whether or not to attack. This ability to make decisions based on abstract numerical values is rare in the animal kingdom. Primates can do it. Some birds, like crows and parrots, can do it. Dolphins can do it. But among carnivores, it's nearly unheard of. Even more interesting is the male lions use their roars not just to count, but to bluff. A coalition of 2 males will roar in tandem, overlapping their vocalizations to mimic a larger group. This kind of deception suggests not only communication, but strategy. And that kind of thinking, that's cognitive complexity. The main trade-off: fashion, fertility, and fire. It's impossible to ignore the lion's mane. That cascading golden crown has become an iconic of power across human cultures, from Babylonian statues to medieval heraldry. But beneath the symbolism lies a biological mystery. Why do only male lions grow a mane? And what evolutionary pressure allows such a visually obvious and biological burdensome feature to persist? Unlike the camouflage stripes of a tiger or the stealthy rosettes of a leopard, the lion's mane does the opposite of helping it disappear. It makes them stand out. More than that, it makes them hot. Lions live in some of the warmest parts of the world, and that thick tuft of fur can raise body temperatures to dangerous levels. In the peak of the dry season, males with darker, fuller manes can be observed panting more, hunting less, and even skipping meals to avoid overheating. So why would evolution favor such a costly trait? Because lionists love it. Studies from the University of Minnesota Lion Research Center have shown that female lions overwhelmingly prefer males with darker, fuller manes. These manes signal high testosterone, good nutrition, and genetic fitness. Males with impressive manes can deter rival males, reducing the need for actual physical confrontation. So, even if the mane is a liability during the hottest parts of the day, it's a reproductive asset all year round. But there's a trade-off. Bigger maned males often sear more cubs, but participate less in hunting and childcare. Their energy goes into mating and defending territory, not feeding the pride. In essence, the mane is both a badge of status and a tax on survival. A lion's mane, then, is evolution's boldest gamble in sexual selection. Into the mind of the beast. Lions are not just brawlers, they are thinkers. In one 2015 experiment, lions were presented with a mechanical puzzle box containing food. The box could only be opened by pulling a specific rope at a precise angle. Leopards and tigers largely failed. Lions solved the task with surprising speed. But that wasn't the shocking part. The shocking part came next. When unsuccessful lions watched successful ones solve the puzzle, they were able to replicate that behavior. 4 out of 5 previously unsuccessful lions opened the box correctly after just one observation. This is called social facilitation, the ability to learn through watching others, and it places lions in a very elite club of learners. Humans, chimps, dolphins, and a handful of birds. Later studies went deeper, testing memory retention. Lions who solved a puzzle returned 7 months later and still remembered how to do it. This kind of long-term memory and abstract problem-solving is usually associated with species that need to remember seasonal patterns or social relationships. What's even more revealing is the lion's ability to process social roles. In prides, lionesses maintain incredible complex social networks, recognizing kin, tracking coalitions, and making decisions based on social memory. And the neurological roots of this intelligence are visible in their brains. Female lions have a significantly larger interior cerebellum than males and other big cats, an area associated with social processing and cognition. In lions, it seems intelligence is not just a byproduct of evolution. It's a direct adaptation to social living. Night eyes and perfect silence. Lions hunt mostly at night, under cover of darkness. They become shadows, moving through the grass without sound, without hesitation. But how do they see in the dark, and how do their prey almost never hear them coming? The secret lies in their biology. Lions have a rod-to-cone ratio of 25:1. In contrast, humans have a 4:1 ratio. Rods are the light-sensitive cells responsible for contrast and movement in low-light environments. The more rods, the better night vision. But that's just the beginning. Behind the lion's retina lies a structure called the tapetum lucidum, a mirror-like layer that reflects light back through the retina, doubling the chances of photoabsorption. This gives lions their characteristic eye shine at night and the ability to see 6 times better than humans in low light. But vision is only half the equation. The other half is silence. Lions have evolved padded paws, flexible joints, and powerful hind limbs that allow them to crouch low and accelerate silently. Their tails serve as rudders for balance. Their whiskers detect airflow. Every part of their anatomy is tuned for stealth. And then, when they strike, it's over in seconds. A reproduction paradox. Unlike many animals, female lions do not have a fixed mating season. Instead, they are introduced ovulators, meaning the very act of mating triggers egg release. This makes timing critical. When a new male or coalition takes over a pride, they often kill the existing cubs. A brutal but effective strategy to bring females back into estrus. It's a behavior called infanticide, and it's as horrifying as it is strategic. But the females fight back with biology. When several lionesses in the pride give birth around the same time, their cubs form a communal nursery called a creche. The lionesses nurse each other's cubs, babysit cooperatively, and sleep in protective huddles. This reduces the chance that any single cub will be left vulnerable. And there's another evolutionary trick at play: synchronized estrus. Through pheromonal signaling, female lions often enter estrus around the same time, ensuring that multiple litters are born together. This communal raising of young is extremely rare in fields and echoes the cooperative breeding seen in some primates, meerkats, and even humans. It's another example of how the lion bends feline biology to a social purpose. Cooperation, conflict, and territory. If hunting isn't the reason lions became social, and parenting isn't the whole story either, what is? The answer may lie in territory. In the patchwork landscape of the African savanna, some places are more vulnerable than others. Waterholes, shaded groves, ambush-friendly grasslands. These are prime real estate. And unlike other big cats that range across vast territories, lions live in a fractured, high-stakes neighborhood. To hold these zones against competitors, you need a team. Lions are one of the few species to actively coordinate territorial defense. When intruding lions approach, resident males do not simply roar, they maneuver. They surround the intruder. They time their attack. They use flanking strategies that would make a military general proud. And they only do this when they have the numbers. When playback experiments broadcast the sound of multiple intruders, lions only respond aggressively if they have the numerical advantage. They are performing mental subtraction, me versus them, before deciding to risk a flight. No other cat does this, not even tigers. Kin across time. The lion's relatives are a story of lost giants. Panthera spilina, the cave lion of Eurasia, once roamed the British Isles and the Russian steppes. Larger than any modern cat, they were nearly 2.5 meters long and stood almost 4 feet at their shoulders. Their bones lie beside cathedral artifacts and prehistoric cave paintings, evidence of a time where humans and lions shared the same hunting grounds. In North America, Panthera atarax, the American lion, was even larger. Weighing up to 500 kilograms, it stalked the mammoths and bison of the Ice Age plains. But by 10,000 years ago, both of these giants vanished, likely victims of climate shifts and human encroachment. Today's lions are the last of this royal line, the last social big cat, and perhaps the last true kings of Earth's savannas. What the lion teaches us about ourselves. The lion is not just a predator. It is a symbol of power, of unity, of survival in a landscape governed by brutal math. They kill, yes, but they also cooperate. They learn, they remember, and they evolve. Physically, socially, cognitively. Lions force us to re-examine the rules of intelligence. Why would evolution bestow such complexity on a creature that lives by tooth and claw? Why count? Why teach? Why learn? Perhaps the answer is simple. Because survival is never guaranteed. Not for a lion, not for us. And in the delicate balance of life, those who adapt, who share, who remember, who calculate, get to write their story in the next generation. And in that sense, the lion is not just king. It's a philosopher, a strategist, a product of Earth's most relentless sculptor, evolution. And what a terrifying, magnificent product it is. And that was the biology and the anatomy of the lions.